Hey guys, here today with another Shirogorov knife video. Today we have in front of us the Jeans. Now the Jeans is a collaboration between Sergey Shirogorov and Dmitry Sinkevich. It was the 2015 CITES collaboration, so basically collaboration between the Shirogorov workshop and Dmitry Sinkevich to make his designs more available, especially since the way that Dmitry does things, all of his knives are pretty much customs. He makes about 5 or so knives of each design before retiring them. This production run right here was 200 piece. They were distributed via lottery in Recon 1 in America and the Shirogorov website in Russia. So of course, this is one of the 200 production pieces here. I wanted to say thank you to my friend for sending this piece over. Without support of my friends, I wouldn't be able to get these pieces, especially those that have pretty much been out of production like this one here. But anyways, the Jeans is a pretty interesting knife in a lot of ways. What is not particularly surprising, however, is the size. Taking a look here and comparing it to some other knives, you can see that it's pretty much the exact same size, both handle and blade length, as the F95, and the quantum being similar to the F95. You can see they're pretty much in the same exact size range. Putting up here against a Neon, you can see that, of course, the Jeans is going to be a bigger knife as well. Taking a look at the weight here, this knife is weighing around, let's see, 4.85 ounces, so pretty much middle of the road, very similar size to the F95. It's a titanium frame lock knife, just like any of the other F95s here. Now taking a look at the blade, I do believe that this is probably around that stated 95 millimeter range. Yeah, taking a look here, edge to edge, we're looking at about 4 inches of cutting length, just a little bit, just a hair over, exactly the same as the F95. With the handle, or with the blade open here, you're looking at an open length of, yep, just under 8 3/4, very similar to the F95, and a closed length, I'm pretty sure the handle's the exact same here, looking at just under 5 inches. Now, the configuration of this knife is also quite interesting as well, especially the blade here. If you take a look, the blade steel is Vanex 37. It's a 4mm blade stock, so very common with other knives at the time. If you take a look here, you can see that it has a full flat grind on the lock side, but on the show side here, we have this very interesting fuller that only extends on this side of the blade. On the other side, it's just that full flat grind here. So we get this very interesting blade profile here. A lot of people, when they first saw it, they thought it was a chisel. Of course, that isn't true, especially you can see the plunge right here. But it's very interesting to see that this knife only has the fuller on one side. And this is an angle that it's pretty hard to find. I wasn't able to find online, so being able to actually see it in person here, you can see exactly how this works. This fuller is pretty much running underneath the jimping here and then extends out. So very interesting shot from the blade spine here. The jimping is this also very interesting jimping as well. It's kind of in the middle of what Shirogorov had been using on the old knives, but still kind of tighter than what we see on the new knives, such as the Neon Zero and the F95 Zero. Personally, I think this is still quite usable. It has a decent amount of grip. The valleys are deep enough that you have some sense of grip here when you are choking down the knife, so I do appreciate that. Really excellent work machining here on that fuller. You can see just how nice the blade finishing is here. And of course, the stone wash on the blade is the nicer one that's used on the Custom Division and other limited knives as well. Taking a look at the handle here, we have this beautiful dual anodization. Of course, the main color is blue here, but we do have some bronze accents. If you take a look closely, especially on the edges here of the handle, you can see bronze, this kind of dark bronze, almost grayish anodization on the pivot and the back spacer as well. The pivot, of course, has the screw on the lock side. We'll talk about the lock side a little bit later. And we also have this very interesting milling pattern that provides a very nice tactile feel as well. The knife, I wouldn't say has a ton of grip, but besides the pattern here for aesthetics, it does provide just a little bit of grip in the hand. Now, the handles are flat milled. There is no contouring at all. This honestly, I think, is quite a simple knife. Kind of plays in with the jeans theme. Knife you can just kind of pick up and go like a nice worn-in pair of jeans. And because of that, I think that the designs kind of suits the knife very well here. Now moving back to the rear part of the knife, you can see we have two body screws, just like the Custom Vision, other limited knives, and also the other Dmitry knives that came after this one. We have, and the pivot as well, you can see here, we have all of the hardware on the lock side. We have a lanyard hole that goes through the back spacer and the other scale as well. Taking a look at the lock side here, you can see we have all of the hardware visible. Lockbar insert screw, pivot screw with that signature Dmitry Sinkevich tri-lobe. The hardware here is all hex. Again, this is something that we have seen in the Dmitry knives from this time period. The tri-lobe screw will be on the pivot, but most of the other hardware will be hex on the rear of the knife. It would be a couple of years after until we started seeing these collaborations have all tri-lobe hardware throughout the knife. Now this clip is also very interesting. Taking a look at it, it looks like a bent clip, but if you take a look at the side profile here, you can clearly see that this clip has been milled. Of course, trying to tie in with that very simple theme. I think that Dmitry was trying to go for a wire clip look here. We also have some milling here on the clip as well. Very interesting, kind of ties in with the jimping, both on the spine and also the back spacer. We have similar jimping sizes here. I do see that the clip is a little bit inset. It would be really nice if this clip extended all the way back out though. Taking a look at the back spacer, which we talked about earlier, you can see we have this beautiful gear pattern on the top. Kind of extends all the way down here. One thing that is interesting is you can see these little protrusions where these screws, the body screws kind of tie in, both also for both of the screws, but also the lanyard hole here as well. Very interesting little touch here. Now, of course, this being a Dmitry Sinkevich knife, it's running on MRBS. You can see the logo right here. The configuration is, of course, different than the Shirogorov ones. They're arranging kind of a triangle for the multi-rows that Dmitry uses, as opposed to the spiral format that Sergey's knives have. The inside of the knife, of course, is internally milled for weight reduction. You can see we have these very large pockets here. And also we have skeletonization on the lock bar on the inside as well, which is pretty nice. Taking a look at the back here, you can see we have the logo of the two makers, Sergey's logo here for the Shirogorov workshop, and then also a Sinkevich design on this side as well. And there we go, it'll focus. And another very interesting to note here, taking a look at the lock bar from the top, you can see that the scalloping is done on both sides. This is pretty typical of Dmitry's designs. You can see here, taking a look, you don't really see any lock bar relief cut, as opposed to, say, Sergey's designs here, where you can see this cutout here, and the lock bar is also scalloped, but only on one side, as the show side is shorter. We also see something very similar on the neon as well. But taking a look here at the jeans, you can see both sides are scalloped for lock bar access. Personally, I do prefer the way that Sergey does it, where he kind of integrates it into the design of the handles. You can take a look. The Quantum is another example here. But again, this is something that Dmitry has been doing for quite a while. Another thing that I also think is interesting too about this model is the lock bar insert here. Now, a lot of people have been a little bit worried about the way that the workshop does things. If you take a look at a Shirogorov lock bar insert, there's this little bump on the left side, which is part of the titanium lock bar. And basically, if the lock bar insert were to go all the way and hit this little protrusion of titanium here, you would know basically to send in your knife to the workshop. This knife takes it to the extreme on the other end here, and the steel insert is actually much protruding much farther out than the titanium lock bar. This is very interesting. I haven't seen this from the workshop and really haven't noticed it in any of other Dmitry designs, and certainly, of course, not any of the Shirogorov designs. So I thought that was quite interesting, something a little bit to point out here. And that should mean that, you know, the insert should be traveling all the way across the lock for the life of the blade. Well, that's pretty much it for the jeans. Oh, one more thing, actually. There was a special limited edition bead that came with the knife. I actually happen to have one of these beads here. You can see it was machined to kind of mimic the shape of a jeans button. And yeah, just like some other limited knives that came with a bead, you can attach it on with a paracord through the lanyard hole here. I don't actually believe that this bead came with the knife, however, but they were made available through the Shirogorov website at one point. Taking a look at the other side, you can see that blue anodization here as well. You can see we also have the Shirogorov logo on the inside, and it also says limited edition as well. But kind of a nice, neat little nod. I really like how they were able to make the shape of the bead something a little bit different than the other Shirogorov and Sinkevich design beads. And it plays really well, again, with the whole jeans theme of the knife. So really cool little piece there. I thought you guys might find that interesting as well. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this knife. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.